different types of fuel sources. Obviously, it's not like a whole bunch of new fuel sources being discovered. Still, carbs, fats, and proteins are main fuel sources.
Yep.
But when we look at them from different approaches, say bulking, performance, what else? Aesthetics, and maybe maintenance.
Yep.
How do those different fuel sources, different quantities come into play in those different roles?
Yeah. Overarching thing will be calories.
Yeah.
That's the main factor, so it influence all of them.
Yep.
Secondly, protein, having that high protein.
Yeah. Especially those bulking and like aesthetics ones.
Exactly, yeah. Will be the biggest factor. From there, they're the main one. That's going to hit 80% of everything you're going to ask for that. You can play around with carbohydrates and fats after that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a massive factor. So you can do either way on all of them and have just the same effect if your calories and your protein are the same.
Yep.
But we can deep dive a little bit into them and how we would do it.
Yep.
So for bulking, we'll probably preference them with having a higher calories to have excess energy to lay muscle.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if you consume food, you need enough calories for your body to maintain itself, all the bodily functions, and have extra calories sitting to the side there to then put on new muscle fibers.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough muscle growth, if you haven't got enough calories in, your body's going to just look after itself, keep itself alive. It's going to not worry about putting extra muscle mass down because it's not needed for survival. That's why it's so hard to put on muscle when you're trying to cut down and lose body fat. Performance. So I guess in that bulking side of it, you would probably just see what the person prefers, having high fat, high carb.
Yeah, I reckon. Like, so take an example, if you have a hard gainer, you don't want to give them too much food because then they're obviously going to struggle to get that food in, even though the calories are at the same thing. They, for them, might find it really hard to get all that food in because they're not really a big eater.
That's
so,
like, I struggle massively to eat.
Yeah, so like for some of you, it might be worthwhile still trying to keep the carbs high to fuel your training sessions, but giving you a bit more fats, then you don't have to eat as much food because obviously fat has a higher energy threshold, so you need more calories from fat, like 100 grams of fat, than you would 100 grams of carbs. So it might be a bit more beneficial for you personally, like a hard gainer, someone who doesn't like eating as much. Eat a bit more fats, then you can get the calories in a bit easier.
Yeah. The overarching thing for bulking is to have
the higher calories. Yeah, to fuel that muscle growth.
Yeah.
And then from a performance standpoint, obviously coming back to the carbs, the more readily available energy source. For a performance individual, they want a higher amount of carbs. Because for someone, even though fat has a higher energy threshold, it also takes a longer time for it to break down. So if you're like a sprinter, you don't want to be using fats as your main energy source. You want the carbs. You're
going very slow, just sprinting on fats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, steamroll. Bang for your bucks. So like you want that higher carb to fuel that training, fuel that performance style.
Yeah. So in the gym, you're pretty much only using carbohydrates. To fuel your training. Obviously, you can train on like fats, which just changes how it runs the system. But it's a lot easier for the body to run on carbohydrates in the gym. So performance side of it, you can play up the carbs and lower the fats a little bit.
Still
calories
protein high.
Calories pretty high, but not super high.
You don't want to go and do too much of a surplus.
You don't put it on that way.
So
looking into aesthetics, let's use the example of, I guess people would want to tune down anyway, but easy to talk about going into like a bodybuilding show, for instance. How would you manipulate your calories and your carbohydrates, fats, going into like aesthetics?
There's sort of two ways you can go about it. You can be a bit smart if you don't rush the whole process. A lot of people try and rush it, do like pick for a show 6 weeks, so their calorie drop down is quite aggressive. They're coming down quite hard, so have to drop things quite quickly, try and get show ready. Whereas if you slowed it down, did like a 12-week phase, so you can sort of drop down a bit better, keep your calories higher for longer, and then come down more gradually. And then coming closer to show day, personally, I would try and drop carbs a bit. Try and give the body a bit of a break from carbs, so then the muscles can sort of shrink up. And then when you come to show day, fill the body back up with carbs, then they can swell up, get that really pumped up, big looking effect, which you want on show day. So you really showcase the muscle and all the hard work you put. So like trying to drop carbs a bit closer to the show and then reintroduce them like fairly aggressively, I would say, closer to comp, really get that swell up effect.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely the way I would do it too, on an individual level. When you rush the 6 weeks, your body freaks out. it goes into full freak out where it thinks it's dying.
Yeah.
And so then you might cut down really, really quickly. You might look pretty good for your show maybe, or might not even look good for your show because your body's too freaked out to absorb the carbs.
Yeah.
You bounce back massively.
Yeah.
You put on a lot of weight and fat really quickly, which is what you don't want. And it's purely because your body's freaking out and it thinks it's dying. And so when it has anything more than it needs to survive, it's going to hang on to it really, really tightly.
Yeah.
So I would probably look at cutting down the carbohydrates as well. And then, like you said, that your muscles will shrink up, and when you flood it, your muscles they overload with carbohydrates when you flood them, when they've been depleted. So you take on like 120%, and you grow, and your carbohydrates are surrounded by water when they're stored in the muscles, so you get that pump feeling, that look. I would do probably exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and then I would also look at keeping protein quite high too, because although your calories are going to come down, you still want to try and maintain as much muscle size as you can.
Yes.
You don't want to have done all this big bulking phase for nothing. You don't want to lose it all.
Yeah.
So you try and keep that protein high to keep the muscle still there.
Yeah, protein. If the protein's circulating in the system, then it will pretty comfortably just keep its muscle mass going.
Yeah.
When you deplete your protein, your muscles will start to deteriorate because your body will pull that protein to help with your gut lining and stuff in your stomach.
Yeah.
Let's jump to maintenance. So, how would you set up someone's maintenance calories and protein?
I feel like maintenance is a very individual sort of thing. So if I have someone who prefers to eat more fat, then looking at, I feel like calories are still the king there.
Mm-hmm.
The calories are still on the maintenance phase. You don't want to give them too much or too little. You want to keep them at a nice sort of like Goldilocks level.
Yep.
And then you sort of play around with fats and carbs depending on the individual. Still keeping protein quite high to still fuel muscle growth or muscle maintenance. Thank you. But then fat and carbs you can sort of play around. So if someone, back to the hard gainer, if someone has struggled eating, give them more fats. Or if they just prefer to eat more fat, prefer to eat cheeses and things, give them more fat. Or if someone wants to still maintain but still want to eat quite a lot of food and give them more carbs, they still want to try and perform quite well with more carbs again.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing. If you find that you you like eating a lot, which a lot of people do, like eating, not a weird thing. If you are able to hit your calories and have it mostly from carbohydrates, the pure volume of the food that you are eating is going to be larger.
Yep.
So if you can have those calories where you have predominantly carbs, you're going to feel a lot fuller. And it's going to be a lot easier to stay on track with your calories than it would be if you were having low carb, high fat. Because if I have a high fat, I have this much food and it's going to get my calories, whereas I have carbs, I can have this much food and get my calories.
Yeah.
So
it's key.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely plays a big role in maintenance as well.
Yeah.
The second